Here we have the frame pretty much done. There's a few little things that need to be fixed with it. Door is gonna be here in this big opening. One kind of downside is that the light switches are right here. Where's my finger? Right there. Light switches are there, and the door is going to open into the light switches without having to do a whole bunch of electrical work. It's just going to have to be a little annoying. So the hallway light was right kind of in line with the banister. And so that would have had to been moved, but what we did is we just kind of plopped in a little bit of a frame right there. And then I actually kind of like it because I loved how open this area was with the open loft. And so now instead of just the wall coming straight from the stairs, there's a little divot right there. So there was talk about, I guess John tried to arrange for this space to be a closet, which ideally, I mean, in theory it would work, but because we're, you know, having the full bed with the bunk, the twin bunk on top, there's really not another good space in the room to have it. So the bed is gonna stay here, and we're just gonna use an external wardrobe. So until Miss A gets reunified with her family and heads back home, I think she's actually going to be taking this room. So the full bed we're going to put together, and she's just going to be in the full bed, gives her a little bit more space. This has 2 windows, so it's a lot brighter and nicer, and she does her dance videos in here, so it just makes sense. And you know, it just kind of will give her just like a new space. We do have an Amazon wish list. We don't expect people to get things, but I know, you know, some people have been commenting and messaging on like how they can help out, and we do have some items there. One of them is a bedroom set that's like a navy, a lighter blue, and like a gray, and I think that is going to be the most gender neutral to start off with, and it's pretty sleek, and I think Miss A likes it, so I think that's going to be like the first kind of style in this room. And then we also have a couple of other items that will complete the garage sale bedroom sets that I found about a week ago, and I'll link that video up here in case you didn't see it. We got 2 amazing bedroom sets with all the wall decor. It was like $70 total, which is amazing. If there's something on the wish list that you would like to get, honestly, we have like everything there, which is stuff that we're gonna buy too. But if you see something on there, you know, and you want to help out, go ahead. Otherwise, make sure that you check out One Simple Wish, because One Simple Wish has wishes from kids in foster care. You can read a little bit about them and also what that item means for them. So for example, if there's a little kid who, you know, is going into kindergarten and they're asking for a tablet so they can do educational games and stuff like that, you know, you can buy that for them and you can learn about them and where they're from. So check out One Simple Wish. Link is below. Also, if you'd like, you can grab something off of the Amazon wish list. Miss A is sneaking away. There she goes. And once she moves into here, we're gonna get her bedroom set up right now for respite and also for any kind of like emergency placements that might come through. When she eventually gets to go home, we're actually gonna have 3 open beds, which is a little crazy to think. I think that's probably too many for John and I to handle, honestly, but we would have the capacity for 3, which would mean we have 2 separate bedrooms. We would be able to take in siblings, either both female, female, male. You know, we're kind of open to a lot more options now that we would have 2 rooms with 3 beds. And John and I are gonna talk about why originally we had talked about only taking in females and why we're reconsidering that. When John and I were first going through the foster care process, you know, getting trained, going through our application and our home study, we had a lot of conversations about what child characteristics we would, you know, be accepting. And you really do have, it's called a child characteristic, I think, profile or something, where you say like what behaviors that you would like be okay with, that you'd be able to like handle in your home, and also really just down to gender and age. Those 2 are really the biggest that they consider when they're looking for a family, because most of the time they don't know all the things that are in that characteristic list. You know, they can't just ask the family all these things, because usually they get the kid and it just happens really fast. They got to find a place for them. So if
You're just taking a gamble most of the time.
Yeah, if the kid has been displaced from the home and they've been in foster care before, they probably have more information as far as like behaviors that they might have exhibited in the past, which is kind of unfair for the kid, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so we had talked, and you know, we've talked about this multiple times. We didn't start off fostering teens. We were really looking at like 5 to 10, only female. Darcy is 4.5 now, and when we started, she was like 2.5, 3 years old. And so for us, we wanted to limit any, you know, potential risk because, you know, some things can happen. You do hear the horror stories. And we wanted her to be at an age before we brought in, like, you know, males, that if anything were to happen, she could either like voice to us that something happened or that she didn't feel comfortable, she didn't feel safe. And we know that like abuse is not like gender specific. It was just the one thing that at the time we felt was a choice that we would make.
Yeah. So as Darcy's gotten older and like she can better vocalize things, like I think we're a little bit more open to taking boys in. Depending on age, I think a little bit, circumstance, you know, like what the kids like. But we're definitely open to the idea.
Yeah, and I think what also helped was, and I think this happens a lot, you know, like we have Miss A who has a younger brother, and like he's been in our home, and it really like showed us, like it started to stretch our idea of why wouldn't we accept a child based on their gender. You know, obviously we're accepting of everything, you know, every family has to make these choices that, you know, would best fit their family. But yeah, like that was just something where we were like, well, why not?
Yeah.
And I will say, like, through training, they talk about what is like age appropriate behaviors, and Darcy has 2 boy cousins, and like we've caught them like doing things that were like, you know, hey, like what are you guys doing?
Darcy said she wanted to marry your cousin.
Yeah.
Darcy, no, stop.
Yeah, and like, and kids are kids, and so that was a really helpful class. They actually had something that says like based on their age, like this is like normal child development, like that curiosity, like these are words that they might say, like they're not necessarily alarming. It's just a conversation you have with your kid. And then they showed you what behaviors you do want to look out for. So they do like prepare you with that. And I will say, you know, people have asked like, how do you protect your kids? You know, that's always been something that comes up, especially from like, you know, family, friends, and even people from the channel. They're curious about it. Honestly, like when a kid comes into your home, if it's early on, you're spending a lot of time with the kid, you're getting to know them, learning their behaviors, learning how you can like adapt like your home. So it's not like you're taking the kids who are already in your home, whether, you know, birth, adopted, foster, and just throwing them alone with like this kid who's just come into your home. There's just a natural kind of adjustment period for everybody.
Yeah.
And if you see anything that's alarming, that's what the caseworkers are there for. That's what therapy is there for. You don't want to displace the child. You want to limit displacement as much as possible. However, it is, you know, it sometimes happens where if you find out it's not a good match because, you know, something in the home is triggering to the child, or, you know, they find out that they need to be in a home where they're the only kid.
Displacement should really be a last resort. Like,
absolutely,
if something's not working out, that shouldn't be your first thought. Your first thought should be, how do we go through either therapy or how do we work with the caseworker to resolve this?
What services?
Try to go from there. You always want to limit displacement as much as possible. Another thing I'll say, when you're filling out your characteristic sheet, it's not so much that you're like picking a kid or anything like that. You're trying to set yourself up for success the most.
Yeah.
So like, if we got a call for a baby, there's just no way we could do it. We've got our young son and Darcy. We know that we could not succeed with a baby in the house. So like, as much as we would want to help, like there's a family that's better suited for that for them to have success. So that's something you want to consider.
And even things down to like, you know, we had some real conversation, you know, with certain things like, you know, a child with autism. I think it was like, you know, you would not be able to, you would consider, or like you would, you know, yes, or there's like a scale. And we had to have some real conversations on like, what are we prepared for? Like, what would we be able to do that child right? Like, could we give them everything that they need? And there's even stuff like, you know, language. So as much as I would love to say, you know, if there was a Spanish speaking only child, oh my gosh, I would like love to have that kid in our home, but like that would just be so challenging for the child. And so there are some things when you're going through, it's not like a menu that you're picking out your foster child. You know, some people might view it that way. It really is just, like you said, that was perfect, like setting up for success.
Yeah.
So not only right now are we open to males in addition to females, but you know, you obviously know that we extended our ages. And so as things move forward, we're able to kind of have more options. And another reason why we're making the changes is with 2 bedrooms, 3 bed options, that gives us a lot of flexibility when we get a call for siblings. And we've found that having Miss A and, you know, knowing what's going on with like her not being with her siblings, it just makes it more like, it just tugs at our heart like a little bit more. And we knew the importance of it, but we didn't think we could. And now, you know, we think that we can. We would be open to it in the future.
Yeah.
A lot of you have also asked with like bedrooms and beds, you know, could siblings stay in the same room? What about genders? Even like non-binary, how do they handle like, you know, if there's a transgender? Honestly, like with the transgender question, it's something that we haven't asked, so I don't know. I would think that it would be based on what the child identifies. So you would go based off of that gender, but you'll have to like look at your state, look at your county as far as rules with like bedrooms and beds. But yes, kids can share rooms. There's just like an age where they would have to have like separate rooms. Yeah. So I hope that answers that question. It comes up every now and then, and we'll keep you guys updated with the room progress. It's kind of going to be a slower process than we originally had hoped for, just because this contractor is trying to like squeeze us into his existing appointments. So it might be a little bit slower, but hopefully in a week or so, we'll be able to get some drywall up and show some more progress.
Thanks for watching, guys.